Everyone, and welcome to this game commentary video with me, Kimzit. Today we shall be chattering about the Setter's new allies as we have finished through the campaign and played it alone. Behind the scenes, really. I've played quite a lot about it as well, but I'm going to be talking about this game. And before I'm going to be proceeding, please lean back, lay down, grab something to eat and drink, as I shall be offering my own constructive feedback, because I find that there's a lot of constructive feedback not being offered. Instead, there's a lot of critique, and within those critique there's no way on how to fix this. Like, the developers should be offered that, and people should be talking about that as well, instead of like, oh, this is shit, this is it, this is it, and they they just go on and move on to different games, which is fine, and it's up to them and their choice. But this only will give on a lot of bad reviews, and I find it like, it's easy to offer such finger pointing instead of trying to make the game good for the consumers as well and for the developers as well. Sure, there's always that opinion like, hey, maybe the developers won't listen to us, so it's not really worth to try. Well, again, you can still try it. That's my opinion, and that's what I'm gonna be doing today. Now, with that said, as you can see, this is my progression, my statistics. I've been playing quite a lot of games as well myself, more than 58. I've left quite a few matches, but to be fair, I did that, honestly, I'm sorry if you've been playing with me. I did that solely because I was invited to a game, so I just left some matches to play with some friends or people who, I just made within the game as I've been playing through the game. But honestly, sometimes I've been crashing a lot lately too. Well, lately, let's say back in the day, before 16 March, because that's the time when the game has actually received an update, and there's quite a lot of changes within there too, like many crashes updates, the Toolmaker's Hut and the Guild's Hall has been changed. And in Toolmaker's Hut, basically there's just, as it mentions, tools are being made. And the Gold Hall is the place where you can basically recruit scouts, which used to cost a lot of lumber and planks. And through there, those planks, were quite easily productive, so people could really easily create lots of scouts with it and rush you down, which is really lame in my opinion. But still a strategy, but it's just not fun, because people would like to have some more manners to win through, and that is just by building up your settlement as soon as possible, and then try to destroy it, even though it's still set, strategy. Yet I prefer it not to happen like that, or else it will be really similar to Age of Empires, because there's quite a few people who put this game at the same level of Age of Empires, even though I highly disagree with that. But yeah, that's actually one of the fixes they have done and changed. Even the Guild Hall cost a little bit of tools, something like 3 if I remember right. And as I mentioned before, there's a lot of fixes which have been arrived. Quite a few iconic buildings like farms and mill have been receiving some bumps up in cost, etc. Some maps have been balanced out, as they honestly do, really. But there's a lot more things that they should add, in my opinion. But yeah, that's enough of me. Like, I've played quite a lot and made some friends, and I've been also talking with them. I said like, hey, what's your opinion about this and that and that? And I'm gonna be talking a little bit about that as well. I just want to show you guys, like, there's quite a few nice challenges as well, and they are reset every 6th day together with the shop, which offers quite a bit of nice stuff. For example, these border stones, a title, and of course some banners over here. But sadly, I've not really seen any skins for units, for example, or the towers which you can create, and you can have them actually. Many people obviously dislike the shop because they're like, oh, the in-game money, you really need that, and you can buy it with credits, with real money. Oh wow, it's very bad. I see it like, hey, they can get rich with this, but they can also invest it into the game, so it's not really bad. Like, sure, let's say both sides. So if you don't wanna, just don't, like, whatever. This is how sadly the gaming industry works lately, so you have no choice. You either buy it or not. Simple as that. Done. But yeah, it's possible, and the more you play, the more chances you have to buy everything out. And if you cannot manage, it's fine. Again, it costs 6 days to for this shop to refresh with new items. You'll have enough time to play through the game and hope to buy one thing. And if you can, there's always the option to go for it, no problem. Maybe they will come back. I'm still not certain if they will come back every time now and then. And they have different statistics, like this is a common item, this is a rare item, this is a legendary item, and this is the epic. That's how the developer, how should I say, labels these things as, but I'm fine really. But yeah, it's still a nice game, and you can show off these things when you buy them to the people and be like, hey, I've played this game quite a lot often, and blah blah blah. Special statistics as well. A nice manner, something that Age of Empires doesn't have, for example. So I find that the Ubisoft people have really offered quite a bit of innovative Settlers, innovation into the Settlers series. Even though, once more, many people dislike this game to various factors, as there's not much, how should I say, nostalgia into this game. But yeah, kind of slightly agree and slightly disagree, because there's never bad to be more innovative about your game than only nostalgia focused. With that said, I want to talk also a little bit about campaign, because some people have been offering some feedback about that as well. For example, that you cannot choose the mission, something I highly want to do. Like, for example, there's quite a few people you can, you just literally just press play, you just literally press this and it just jumps into the game, act 1, mission 1, done. Like, and after you finish that, you can just literally continue, and instead of seeing like, hey, this is the campaign, it doesn't show that thing, and that's not how many games works. And I guess this is just the way of Ubisoft ruling over the how should I say, campaign itself. It's fine, but I would have preferred if we could have been choosing the missions due to various reasons. But I'm just going to be keeping it short and say, like, it wouldn't be really nicer to do that and even choose difficulty of the AI, be it easy, normal, or hard, or extreme, whatever. But further else, the campaign was fine. The story and the lore, well, yeah, it was short, it was nice, but I would like it to be very elaborate, more elaborated upon, something many people agree with as well and are very critical about it. Because, like, look at this, for example, this is a good example of what I would like to have. Like, the tutorials are various, like, there's so many tutorials, and it really offers you a point of view on how the game should be played and how it can be played, and offers you manners on how to, how should I say, strategize within this game and play it through. Same thing I would have liked on how the campaign should have been proceeded with, but who knows, maybe they will add some more campaign stuff or change it, I'm not sure. But we've seen how my videos were made, and you've seen it yourself, maybe how it have been played out throughout the times. So yeah, but further on, I've received many reports and many people have been saying it, especially with an audience, for example within YouTube, saying that this game is very similar to Age of Empires. I must disagree, because it's very different. Sure, you can have one game mode where you literally have to be fighting each other to the death, and that's not the only game mode you have, because you have 3 different game modes. In one, you have to fast and swiftly to make to reach a population limit of 500, if I remember right. I think so, yeah. And then you also have to reach a specific amount of troops, which is 200 if I remember right, and 200 gems, and then you can win the game. But of course, even through there, you can just try to rush the enemy and kill them, and then you win the game as well, if I am correct. But that's another mod you can play through. And then you have Gold Rush, where you have to get like 1,000 gold coins. But sadly, in that game module, there's another thing I want to offer with some critique and offer constructive feedback, because I find that with that 1,000 gold coin is easily reached, and it doesn't give time for the enemy player to react to it, because you know the people tend to be quickly trying to make one gold mine, and I can sadly not show you guys, because even here is the another critique when I offer. That we cannot choose the game mod. Like there's 3 mod as I mentioned before: a gold rush, a settlement building, and an annihilation. So that's one of the 3 things we can choose and play through within the settlers, which is quite nice and fun in my opinion. But sadly, again, we cannot choose it. So I would really like if the developers could change that for us, or maybe allow us to set up lobbies or whatever, host games or something, instead of leaning entirely on queues with randomly generated maps, which are nice but not always fairly balanced in my opinion, of course. So I hope they will fix it, which they have slightly done in the patch on the 16th of March, which was 3 to 4 days ago, I remember, 2. But yeah. Back to the game mod, I would really like if we would have been able to, set up on how many gold we could have, created, for example, 2,000 or 5,000, because eventually people are able to build quite a few more gold mines, and they can go up, and then you can even spawn some bandits, because you cannot attack the enemy, really. You can't send your troops there. All you can do is just spawn some bandits in exchange for some gold coins, and then, they can get attacked quite hard and all that. But yeah, that's basically my opinion. So yeah, as I stated before, this game is playable, it's fun. My opinion is that people once more tend to offer a lot of negative point of views and do not offer constructive feedback for the developers, who have a chance to listening to you and change the game to make it fun for the consumer, you yourself as well, and make it good for them as well. But yeah, that's what I've been trying to do, and I hope everyone can agree to disagree. If you have different points of views or so, feel free to write it down in the comments box below, or join my Discord server so we can have a chit chat about it. Because again, the game shall be receiving a lot more updates and a lot more fixes as well. Even the recent one has changed quite a bit of the game. For example, where you have the Toolmaker's Hut, that has changed a little bit, especially the gold hall as well, where you can basically build emissaries, basically is engineers, who will obviously expand your territory, build things and all that. They're literally the core of your settlement. You can also build some scouts, which usually cost a lot of planks, and they were very easy to get, but the problem was people tend to use them quite often to rush down your people, and it's still strategy, but it's strategy that's not really great, and this makes the game quite similar manner on how to play. But sadly, they have changed it for the people, meaning you cannot use that strategy anymore. Some people find it lame. I find it actually quite better, so that people have to find out a different manner of strategy and actually play the game in far more longer lengths. But on the other hand, they have also, I would also like if they change this thing into the game. Like, I find that the Forcer Hut, like, it costs quite a lot of tools as well. I prefer it not to cost tools, so that we can use them to have a one place where we can gather wood, because not every map has, how should I say, trees which regrow. At some maps the trees do regrow, and some maps they don't, especially for example into your first spawning point, or you have to expand a little bit to get to the point where the trees regrow, and it's quite nice. So I find then the forest heart become a little bit pointless. At some map they are, how should I say, required. At some maps they don't. And on the other hand, they cost literally logs instead of planks, which is really, not really that great in my opinion. And again, even like I've already stated before, some of the maps are really unstable, because some spawning points have more resources and the others don't. But that's my opinion, and I find that the developers should check this forward, and they're slowly doing that. But with that said, I've offered my honest opinion and feedback about this game. It is playable, you can buy it, you can surely have a lot of fun, but if you're not, you're free to go play any game. And with that said, thank you for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give a like button, and subscribe to my channel if you're new and wish to support it. Do you want to recommend something we're going to game together? That's possible as well. Just write down comments box below, or jump into the Discord server so we can have a chat about it. Till then, I shall see you guys later.